What is your American dream?
The American dream, if anybody works hard enough, they can do anything they want to do, right?
I want to see the American dream afforded to everybody, regardless of their race, sexual orientation, or anything.
I do feel like I have reached it, and it's very close to my personal mission in life, which is to write the stories of my comunidad and to use my voice and any success that I have to help lift up their voices and stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves.
My American dream is that everybody in this country has the same opportunities that I had. I feel very privileged in my life. I benefited so much from the abundance in this country, but I know that many people don't have the same access to these privileges that I do. And so my dream is that every American has the same access that I had.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. It's Tuesday. It is January 26, 2021. My name is Brad Bernstein, and out there with me are my co-hosts, always hanging out with me, Jonathan, Yo-Yo Elias, Mr. Peace, Mr. Thumbs Up, Mr. Peace, and Vanessa, that's quick
and
Contreras.
The fingers.
That was yesterday's thing.
I'll take the thumbs up emoji.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just here for the thumbs up.
You missed it yesterday, Vanessa. Our thing before you came, Yo-Yo and I kept going like this to each other. Every time we said something smart, we were like, yes.
Yeah.
So
Good job,
Yeah,
bud.
yeah. It was like, good
Say it
job.
again.
Yep, you got it. Yep. So, but
Got it.
today, that was yesterday's thing. We have a whole,
yesterday.
that was yesterday. We got a whole new thing for today. We
Got
got,
a whole new jig.
is it this or this?
Always this, especially on YouTube. Especially this.
Yeah, I like the thumbs up. I hate to say it, yo. I think Boss
I like
Lady's
the
got something
thumbs
on you. I think, all right, thumbs up. It's
we go.
Tuesday,
That's what
January
it is.
26, 2021. We're going to have tea time later with Brad. We got immigration questions.
As well.
That's right, with the pinky. I've been practicing how to drink my tea. I never really drank tea before we had tea time with Uncle Brad. It's like a whole new thing for me. I'm really not a tea
It's good
drinker.
for you. Tea's good for
It's
you,
very
Brad.
good. It's very good for your whole system. Very good. It just
Yeah.
I know. I wish I actually made some tea because my throat is feeling kind of funny.
Well, you should have Tea Guy.
I know.
I have Tea Guy come and make me tea now, because we don't have the butler anymore. So Julian, the TriCaster guy, I call him Tea Guy now because he does the TriCaster.
Tea guy.
Tea guy.
And he went out and bought new tea for me today because we ran out
wow.
of tea.
That
Yes.
Julian, how do we ever get so lucky?
Yeah, he came in. He goes, boss, I need some money for tea.
I like
So
that.
he went. I don't know what he bought me today. It still doesn't say there. Maybe he could whisper in my ear what he bought, or maybe I'll be surprised. I'm not sure what we have. It's peppermint tea today. Yo, you ever have peppermint
Ooh.
て? I don't know if
Yes,
I've ever had peppermint
is
tea.
good.
I've had green
Peppermint tea
tea.
is really good.
I've had green tea. I've had chamomile. I've had Earl Grey. I've had was it maca, mocha, mocha, machi,
Yeah.
machi? What is it called?
Macchiato.
Matcha.
Matcha. I've had matcha.
Matcha.
Thank you very much.
Right.
That's matcha.
Don't forget the cue.
Let's say hello to the squad, though. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. Let's say hello to the squad. Vitalis Osugwu, #1 in the comments. Squad up. How are you, Jessica Levy, Joel Reed? By the way, Yo and Vanessa, public service announcement. Please do not get insulted if I do not call out your name. It is impossible to call out every human being who says squad up in the comment
This is
section.
true.
We will be
Yes.
we'll be here for 45 minutes. I love everybody.
Yes.
I promise you. Right? Is that true? Is that true?
This is
Yes.
Okay.
And now we'll be backing up Brad in the comments because it is a lot of love spread.
Thank you very much.
Rio and
All
I
right,
are here.
all right. Thumbs up on the love. Thumbs up on the love.
Thumbs up on the love.
Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Marcel Reed, squad up. How are you? Cheryl Mohan, Lisa Becky, Myrtle Ray, squad up. Chin Ramsey, squad up. How are you? Mana Walters, squad up. Carmita, for sure. Squad up. Jessica Leamy, I think I said Dion Reed. Squad up. Christy Consali, what's going on? It's apple pie time. How are you? She's saying squad up, peeps. Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Willie L. Williams, hey. He always says hey, but I always add extra hays for him. I don't know. I just think it sounds cooler when he says hey than just hey. But I could be wrong. Gordon Gima or Giamma, squad up. Squad up, Gordon. Latoya Henry Powell. Shio Domain says, good afternoon, Brad. Squad. Carol, the Tiger Anderson. Squad up, Yo-Yo Vanessa. Hun, Myrtle Ray. I don't know who Hun is, but somebody's Hun. I guess Hun's Yo-Yo because she didn't mention Yo-Yo. I guess you have a special Hun from Carol.
I was Hun.
Yeah. Lisa Bling Rose, squad up. How are you? Who else we got here? Avion Reed. Naisha McDermott, we see you watching. Taisha Gooden, we see you watching as well. And Marcia McCullough, Claudette Fisher just sent me 50 stars. Wow, thank you very much. She's a star sender. That's what
Back with the stars.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what Facebook
A
calls
star
people
sender.
who send stars. You're a star sender.
Senator.
We like it.
Star send. A superstar.
What am I supposed to do with these stars? I don't know, but I like collecting them.
Yeah. There's a lot of thumbs up emojis on YouTube, but not enough YouTube thumbs up. So looking out for those too, squad.
All
Some
right.
likes and some loving.
All right, let's see what's going on, boss lady, on YouTube. Ja Love saying hello to everybody. Vitalis Asugu double fisting. So is Jessica Leamy. Ogutu Favor saying hey, and Tally squad up. Who else we got here? God bless says hi, Brad. Do you know if the USCIS will start giving 10 years now after the 2 years condition is up instead of 1 and 1.5 years. You're going to have to stay tuned, and I will tell you what I think. Sophia Morrison, squad up. Vuvu Fuze, thumbs up, Uncle Brad, and squad Dan Gov. And Marcia Robinson, A. Gill, and Grace Odias, Axel Lawson, saying hey, hey, hey. Grace Odias with a hello. And Huberman Edmund, big up boss.
Hey.
Big up boss.
I like that.
Yo, and Vanessa, I'm like an airplane guy. That's the cue, the thumb.
Is this
That's the cue.
Absolutely. Okay, squad, now please, we say this every day. Please remember to share, because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad. He's going to fill us in on the latest news, including more new President Biden executive orders.
And today is Tuesday Tea with Brad. We'll talk celebrity news, including the fierce inauguration fashion we saw on display. My favorite. Last week.
And of course, you can always call Spar and Bernstein at the bottom of the screen. You'll see Spar and Bernstein scrolling at the bottom. You also seen Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with my head carrying a sign saying, call me with your immigration question, or ask me your immigration question. And the number to call Spar and Bernstein or to get on the show, it's the same exact telephone number, 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. Perhaps one day we'll mention Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson so many times he'll check us out. Who knows? And of course, later I'm going to speak with George Mason University professor of law, blogger, and author Ilya Somin about his newest book, Free to Move: Foot Voting, Migration, and Political Freedom. But right now, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, schmoozing time. It's schmoozing time. It's schmoozing. Let's schmooze a little bit. So today, a federal judge in Texas temporarily blocked a move by Joe Biden to halt the deportation of immigrants without criminal records for 100 days. So as quick as he signed an executive order, there is a judge who's overturning it. U.S. District Judge Drew Tipton, an appointee of none other than the Pumpkin in the Southern District of Texas, issued a temporary restraining order that blocks the policy nationwide for 14 days. This follows a legal challenge by the State Attorney General of Texas. The Biden administration said they're going to appeal immediately. They were expecting this to happen. You know, Biden took office on Wednesday, and the top official at the U.S. Department of Homeland Security issued this memorandum on the same exact day that Biden took office. It was a campaign promise to pause the deportation of many immigrants, mostly those without criminal records, so they can figure out who are the people that they should be deporting, who are the people they shouldn't. They were going to do a top-down review of everything that the Department of Homeland Security was doing under Donald Trump. They needed this 100 days to review. They didn't want to deport people and then deport the wrong people or deport people that really didn't deserve to be deported. But now the Texas judge in the Southern District of Texas overturned the Biden administration. Basically, the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, said that Texas, the state, would have irreparable harm if people didn't get deported. They would be irreparably harmed if people didn't get deported. If people got to live in America for an extra 100 days, Texas would never be the same state again. It would be a horrible, horrible existence for the people of Texas.
It would all just go downhill in 100 days.
Right. It would all go down the drain for Texas. It would be a disaster. All right. Disaster zone.
Right.
All right. I mean, we'd have to call in FEMA for federal emergency. I mean, God knows we keep for 100 days immigrants without criminal records in America for an extra 100 days.
That's crazy.
Well, you know what's really interesting about the entire thing is that you could almost tell, depending on where the lawsuit starts, what's going to happen. Every time Trump passed an anti-immigration executive order, there was a lawsuit in California, generally in San Francisco, in the Ninth Circuit. Those are the most liberal federal judges. Those were mostly appointed by Democratic presidents, and those were the judges who overturned many, not all, but many of the executive orders. On the same token, the Southern District of Texas, one of the most conservative districts, mostly the judges assigned or confirmed by Republican presidents and Republican administration. This particular judge appointed by Donald Trump. If you remember back in the days of DACA and DAPA, I always say that, you know, somebody, one of the people who watch us is DAPA, and I always call her Deferred Action for Parent Arrivals. DACA and DAPA were similar executive orders that were signed by Obama at the same time, and DAPA was for parents of children of U.S. citizens not to be deported, and that was overturned by the same district court in Texas. So they bring the anti-immigration people or advocates, they bring lawsuits in the Southern District of Texas because those are the most conservative judges, and you can bet my bottom dollar that almost every conservative judge in the Southern District of Texas is going to side with the anti-immigration lobby. And you could also bet my bottom dollar that almost every liberal judge in the Ninth Circuit will be in favor of pro-immigration lobby. So in the end, it's just what you would call in legal terms forum shopping. Meaning forum shopping is a term where you say, I'm going to pick the court where I'm going to get the best result. So you're not going as an anti-immigration advocate, somebody who doesn't want immigrants in America, who wants immigrants deported. You are not going to go in California and bring that litigation in California. You're going to bring it in Texas, because that's where you're going to find the most sympathetic judges for your cause. And on the same token, if you notice that for the last several years, most of the executive orders that got overturned were either by New York judges or California judges. Mostly California, though.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Cali.
Yeah, so we will see what happens with that. Biden said he's going to appeal. Now, obviously, even though they will not officially stop deportation, Biden's people are running Department of Homeland Security. They can certainly slow their feet down a lot. So even if they are forced to deport people, it's not going to be massive deportations and massive raids like you saw under Donald Trump. Because they can certainly slow it down anyway. They could say, yes, we're deporting people, we're doing the best we can, but I'm just hanging out today. I don't really have much to do.
Right.
So they could certainly slow things down anyway, even with this ruling. So it's not, I wouldn't be overly concerned for people, other than it was nice to say and feel good and say, if you are in deportation, well, nothing's going to happen to me for 100 days. Now, we don't necessarily know for sure. The other big immigration news of the day is for everybody who's traveling into the United States now, as of today, Tuesday, January 26th, you got to take a COVID test, even American citizen, even a green card holder, even somebody coming on a student visa or a visitor's visa. The United States is requiring every person who gets on an airplane from another country, international travel, not national travel, international travel coming from another country, you must take a COVID test within 3 days of getting on an airplane and show you are negative. So if you're an American who decides to go to Mexico, to Tulum, boss lady, she likes to go to Tulum. I know what she likes to do. Okay, so if you decide you want to go to Tulum for a vacation, you need to take a COVID test before you come back, or they won't let you on the plane, even as an American. You would have to quarantine. If you are positive, you would have to stay in the hotel, quarantine, go through your symptoms and your disease of corona. Hopefully, you're not sick enough to go to a hospital in another country. And once your symptoms have abated, take another test, show that you are symptom-free, and then get on an airplane.
So I know when I went to St. Thomas, which
St.
I'm
Thomas
actually
is the
very
United.
happy
St. Thomas
about.
is the United States, so you didn't have to worry about that. You didn't need a passport for St. Thomas.
Yeah. Frozen.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, you're frozen.
Yo-Yo's frozen.
But there's a lot of traveling to
Right.
the Caribbean and, like you mentioned,
Right.
Mexico right now.
Right.
So people will, yeah.
Yeah, so you need a COVID test. Now, the COVID test that you can take is either a PCR, which is the nasal one, and that's almost 100% accurate, or you can take the rapid test from Abbott, which is about 75% accurate. They're going to accept those too. The rapid test gives you a result in 15 minutes. So if you're in a jurisdiction that can't get back a COVID test within 96 hours, what's 3 days? 24, 48, 72 hours, excuse me.
72,
So
yep.
if you can't get it back within 72 hours, they will accept an Abbott test. And you're going to have to get something certified from a doctor, and you have to print it out and show it before you get on the plane, or the planes are not going to let you on. That's what's happening with immigration today. We still don't know, Vanessa, what is actually the written words in the bill that Joe Biden submitted for the immigration reform. Again, it's just what we read in the newspaper. So I don't have additional information at this moment to share with everybody on what is actually the details of the amnesty and what is being debated. Hopefully we'll know more tomorrow. Meanwhile, President Biden has taken 33 executive actions on his first 6 days in office, and there are more to come. Biden rejoined the Paris Agreement on climate change. He revoked a permit that Trump granted to the controversial Keystone XL pipeline and placed a temporary moratorium on oil and gas leasing in the Arctic. Trump gutted environmental regulations, attempted to bail out coal miners, installed a former coal lobbyist to lead the EPA, and brokered a deal with OPEC to rescue shale oil producers. Now, Senator Ted Cruz, he was mocked on social media. He said by rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, President Biden indicates he's more interested in the views of the citizens of Paris than the jobs of the citizens of Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, the Paris Agreement was just signed in Paris. It has nothing to do with the citizens of Paris. It was an international agreement to reduce greenhouse emissions. Of course, some other Republicans are upset that they are going to lose jobs from the Keystone pipeline. Trump said it was going to be 28,000 jobs. An analysis by the State Department said it actually created 3,900 jobs. But even these 3,900 jobs, they're not permanent jobs. You build a pipe, you leave, you're done with your job. These are temporary jobs for 6, 9, 12 months. How is this? This is not making a better economy. This is giving a temporary job for a temporary project.
Yep.
Also yesterday, I feel bad for transgender troops. I feel bad for them.
Why?
Because depending on what president, you're in the army, you're out of the army, you're in the army, you're out of the army, and here you are taking an oath to defend the country where you live in. You're willing to put your life on the line, and 1 minute they say you can be in the military, and the next minute you can't be in the military. So yesterday,
it's all based on like what the president wants.
yes. So Obama allowed transgender troops. Trump did not allow it. Biden now signed an executive order repealing the Trump policy that banned transgender people from serving in the military. You know, the issue is you're a transgender person. You serve in the military during the mid 2012, 2015, 2016. You're putting in your time. You want to be able to put in your time to get a pension. Because you have an X amount of years, and the longer you're in the military, the more pension you receive. You're putting your life on the line. You're defending your country, and then you're told you got to leave.
That's
crazy.
Now,
now you're out of the army for 4 years, and now Joe Biden says, "Okay, you can go back in." Man, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah,
I'd be really angry. I mean, I'm happy Biden did it. I'm not saying I'm not.
But that who's 4 years, then who's to say whoever the next president is to be, it won't change again? And
that's right.
Wow.
And by the way, it's not like a couple of people. It's 15,000 troops.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 15,000.
It's 15,000 troops. Yeah. So it's not like it's a couple of people.
Wow.
Now, Biden described the move as allowing all qualified Americans to serve their country in uniform. The Human Rights Campaign commended the move, saying it values qualifications over discrimination.
Absolutely. And I say for whoever doesn't agree with it, they can take their butt and defend the country themselves.
That's right. That's
right. They can exchange places. I feel like if anyone is willing to put their life on the line for our country, it's like it shouldn't matter shape, size, color, gender. You're willing to put yourself on the front line for our, like, you know, for our nation.
You know, as Jack Nicholson said in A Few Good Men, I'd rather you just say thank you.
That part.
Exactly.
I'd rather you just say thank you. Thumbs up.
That was yesterday. I missed it.
Yeah. Now, you're a day behind. Yesterday was this. Today is this.
Yeah.
Today, Joe Biden also signed executive orders on housing and ending the Justice Department's use of private prisons for criminal defendants. So in other words, any contract that the United States has with a private prison, they have to abide by that contract. But Joe Biden has instructed the Department of Justice not to re-sign new contracts for more private prisons. One of the biggest things that, you know, about our criminal justice system is the privatization of prisons, the privatization of our criminal justice system. It has made our criminal justice system a for-profit system, and it actually made incentives for governments to arrest people and put them in jail because people were making money from shackling inmates.
Wow.
Biden is just moving and knocking these things out. I'm liking the way he's moving.
Now, he has not done it, because we've talked about this, he has not done it for the Department of Homeland Security yet. Almost all of immigration detention facilities are privately run. They are for-profit institutions. And we have talked about this numerous times. It is extraordinarily cheaper, as long as the person is not a danger to society. In danger to society, it's a different situation. But most people are not. It is much cheaper to put an ankle bracelet on somebody, to track their whereabouts, to make sure they show up to court. It's less than $1 a day, versus housing them in a jail facility. Because immigration, by the way, immigration detention is not criminal in nature. The only reason to house anybody or detain anybody in an immigration jail is to make sure they show up to their immigration hearing. That is the only reason. Immigration detention is not punishment. It has turned into punishment. But immigration is a civil offense, not a criminal offense. And we are treating immigrants like criminals when they're not. And we have privatized jails. We have privatized the entire detention system for immigrants to make sure they show up to court. And people are making a lot of money from this, from the U.S. government. And they have jails, and they have jail cells, and they have beds. And when immigrants are not in those jails and jail cells and beds, these private companies don't make as much money. So there is an incentive to jail everybody. There's an incentive to put as many people as we can in jail, because these private companies will make more money. And quite frankly, if the sole reason, the only reason to make sure to put somebody in jail is either because they're a danger to society, then okay, fine, I get it.
Right.
I'm not saying put, Ted Bundy out in the world and let him, kill everybody.
Right.
Okay. But most people are not. So the only reason to put somebody in detention is to make sure they show up to immigration court. Make sure they show up to their immigration officer for deportation. Now, if you're so concerned that this person's going to run away, because back in the day people would run away for sure, there are ankle bracelets you can put on people that track you all over the place. You know exactly where they, instead of putting them in prison. Is it uncomfortable as an immigrant to wear an ankle bracelet? Absolutely. Nobody says it's not comfortable. Okay. But it's certainly much better than sitting in a jail.
Absolutely.
And certainly
without having had committed a crime.
Correct.
For just existing.
Correct. And certainly a lot cheaper for the American taxpayer. But it has nothing to do with the American taxpayer, and it has nothing to do with ensuring somebody actually shows up to court. This has to do with making money on people who are in jail, making money on detaining people and arresting people and putting people in handcuffs. That's what it is. So Joe Biden has ended it for the criminal portion, but he has not said anything yet about Department of Homeland Security.
I hate hearing
It's
things
still
like
good
this.
for the week, man. It's still good for the week. He's doing good.
Yeah. And this is trifling, Yo-Yo.
Trifling. There you go.
Trifling. The woman who stole Nancy Pelosi's computer, Riley Williams, she's now also accused of deleting her presence online and possibly switching devices to destroy evidence. According to prosecutors, Williams messaged other rioters she stole Nancy Pelosi's computer on January 6th during the riots and told them to destroy and delete evidence. She is being charged with trying to sell Nancy Pelosi's computer to the Russians.
Wow.
So, she's getting in hotter and hotter water.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, what is her deleting her account, her online presence, gonna do?
Because I think on social media there was a lot of discussion about what they were going to do. So this was, what all the lawyers are trying to say was this was not a pre-planned thing.
Oh.
Okay, because there was no conspiracy to overthrow the United States of America. But if there was discussion before these riots started that we're going to go down, we're going to go enter the Congress, we're going to do XYZ to Congress people, we're going to go try to kill AOC, we're going to bring handcuffs and try to overthrow or make sure that this vote doesn't happen to elect Joe Biden on the Electoral College. If there was discussions online, you now have a conspiracy, which is an agreement. Conspiracy just means I agree to do something. An agreement by individuals to go and try to overthrow the United States of America, which is, potentially death penalty.
Wow.
Right. But so that's what's going on right now.
I'm sure somebody got a screenshot.
Yeah. Now, with all that being said, this woman who perhaps...
what are they charging her with? How are they charging this woman?
All right. This woman perhaps conspired to overthrow the United States of America, perhaps stole Nancy Pelosi's computer, perhaps tried to sell it to the Russians. Right now, do you know where she is?
In her living room, watching Bradshaw
in her
live.
living room, not watching Bradshaw live, but it's certainly in her living room, in home confinement.
Wow.
She is not even...
Home confinement?
She is not even in jail. What a freaking disgrace. Now take a look at her. Do you think that if she had dark skin, curly hair, brown skin, that she would be
and stole the
sitting,
speaker of the US
that she would be,
computer?
that she would, and stole the Speaker of the House's computer, tried to sell it to the Russians? Yeah. Do you think if she was this guy on the left?
Khalif, isn't that Khalif?
Yes.
He stole
a knapsack, a backpack. Yeah, about 10 years ago.
Right,
and
then
he went to Rikers for 3 years.
And they whooped his butt, and then he got out, and then didn't he kill himself right after?
Yeah, that was about a decade ago, exactly. So,
it's a whole different story here.
Right, but now we're talking about two different time periods. That was 2010, 2020, but the point is the point, which is
it's not that.
Right.
The principle.
I mean, it wasn't like it was 100 years ago, but the point is the point.
No, but the principle.
Okay, I mean, everybody sees what is obvious to everybody.
Wow. Home confinement.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting.
If she was black, she definitely either would be dead or in jail getting whooped by officers at this very moment. Like beat up.
Yeah. Well, according to statistics from the Johns Hopkins University, we still have coronavirus hanging around. That's why you guys are doing the show from home, and I'm in the studio lonely here by myself. It's very lonely here in the studio. I hate this freaking coronavirus. When can you come back?
Crickets back there.
There's now more than 423,000 deaths in the United States attributed to coronavirus. There were a total of 405,000 American deaths during all of World War II.
Jeez.
400, let me say that again. 423,000 deaths in America, coronavirus. What are we now? 9 months into it? 10 months into it? World War II was several years.
March will be a year.
405,000 in what people say was the greatest war of all time.
Wow.
And it looks like me and you, although I'm putting myself in young Americans, but all young, healthy Americans, or healthy, or middle-aged and young, healthy Americans, will not have access to the vaccine till at least the summer.
Really, the summer?
Yeah. Now, Joe Biden says he hopes that the U.S. is going to be able to administer 1.5 million doses of coronavirus vaccines a day, but that's really 750,000 people, because remember, you need 2 shots.
Yeah.
Not 1, 2. Biden is scheduled to take executive actions as early as Thursday to reopen federal marketplaces selling Affordable Care Act health plans and to lower recent barriers to joining Medicaid. Some good news. Americans are becoming more willing to get the vaccine when it's available. 66% said they will get vaccinated, up from 51% in October. In Israel, they have vaccinated more than a majority of their population, and they came out with statistics that said those people who even got the first shot, not even the second, were almost 50% less likely to even have coronavirus. So in Israel, where they're doing a very good job of vaccinating their population, the number of coronavirus deaths, the number of coronavirus illnesses have dropped drastically in the last 60 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we
Summer.
after that, because we need to, man. This is it's out of hand. But I have, like I said, I feel good about Biden and his administration. I feel like they're gonna actually get it together.
Yeah, they just need to invoke the Defense Appropriations Act and get every company to make this vaccine.
Yeah.
Period. Okay, because until everybody gets the vaccine, we're going to be living like this. In I don't want to say it's misery, because it's not misery. We're alive, we're breathing, but it's certainly not the life that anybody wants.
Uncomfortable.
It's not the life that anybody wants.
And life is short.
That's
You've
right.
taken away years of our short life that we already have.
That is very, very true. That is very, very true.
Damn, that's a
When
damn.
you put it that way.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was deep, yo.
Yeah,
Thumbs down on COVID.
I'm just
That was
saying.
deep.
Thumbs down on COVID. All right, it's tea time. Let's have a little
Not
fun
so
here.
deep.
All right,
Oh.
it's tea time. I have my tea. It's Tuesday. The tea master, Julian, the TriCaster guy, he says it's peppermint. Did you have any tea? Do you have any tea there?
Yes, I made some.
You did
while
make
you were
tea.
talking.
Really?
Yes, while you were talking. Yeah.
See, we
It
wouldn't
does-
be able to do that in studio.
I'm still making my tea. We're just gonna have to wait for a minute or two. I will not drink my tea until it's time.
I have milk in my tea.
I don't know. I'm not that fancy. I just have straight tea. And Julian put a lemon on the bottom.
Just water.
Right. I have water and a lemon on the bottom. I can't show you the lemon because then I would pour the tea all over me. But trust me, there's a lemon in it.
Oh my God.
All right. Let's
And
see how
can
we
you
go.
guys see my amazing mug?
Julian must
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Julian must have poured this hot water around 1 p.m. today. I am drinking iced tea, but it's still
It is
but
iced tea.
but it is still very good. I love a nice glass of iced tea on an ice cold day in New York.
Winter day. Whoa!
All right.
Wouldn't
Brad,
that
you
be
were
a perfect world?
What?
You missed it.
What I miss?
Oh,
What I miss?
imagine that.
You didn't see
I don't
nothing?
know.
Do you not see anything different?
Yeah, I turned black.
Oh, he can't see that.
Julian took me off my own show.
Like, what's going on here?
All right, so one of the biggest news stories from the inauguration was the actual fashion.
J-Lo's outfit.
Yeah, Gabriella Hearst, the designer of Jill Biden's inauguration gown, said the inspiration for the dress was unity. Unity makes strength, and it's needed for the road ahead. So, did you like,
love
Vanessa?
this
You're
look.
in the fashion business. Let's have your opinions on everybody.
I love the
Let's
first
see her
lady's
picture.
look.
Let's see a picture, Julie.
Literally from head to toe. Well,
No,
this
that's
is J-Lo.
J-Lo. That's J-Lo.
Not
There's
first
the
lady.
first lady. Yeah.
But head to toe, she was stunning. I loved
Mm-hmm.
the matching. I loved the matching mask. The color was just so hopeful. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved both her looks.
She had
Right.
50 flowers from all 50 states plus the U.S. territories embroidered on her dress.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's what I liked about that. Just the symbolism.
Yeah.
They just look great.
Deep.
What about Michelle
Dr.
Obama?
Jim.
Did you like Michelle's look? Everybody was going
Now
crazy
that right
over.
there was the showstopper.
Everybody was going crazy over Michelle, right?
I get chills. Thinking back to the inauguration fashion because I really was I loved every look.
Yeah, she was head.
And then Kamala,
well, we didn't get to Kamala yet, but Michelle, she was head to toe plum and burgundy ensemble by LA-based Sergio Hudson. He's a famous designer. I have no idea. I only know immigration.
may
I
have
don't
to
know.
Google.
Okay.
But-
And Vice President Kamala Harris, you liked what she wore too?
Of course.
She wore
Yeah.
a coat by Christopher John Rogers, a young black designer.
Beautiful
Yes.
color.
Now,
is-
now, many noticed the theme of purple worn by the women at the inauguration, and that was not an accident. Purple is the color that appears when you blend red and blue together, so it was a symbol of political unity. Aha! But also, purple is the color of the suffragette movement for women's rights.
Wow.
Yes.
That depth.
And what did you think of Bernie Sanders' outfit? He may have been the biggest star of the inauguration.
Oh, gosh.
When he unwittingly became a meme when he was photographed bundled
Oh,
up
he
and
went
hunched over
viral.
while sitting in his chair. Many people thought Bernie looked grumpy, while others noted he's a 79-year-old man. He's just really freaking cold.
Right.
Yeah. Now, lots of people were a fan of his mittens, which were gifted to Bernie by Julie Stellar of Minneapolis, who founded Stellar Handcrafted Goods, a Minnesota-based company that upcycles wool sweaters and other materials into handcrafted mittens.
wow.
Yeah.
Nice. I saw that he took the meme, the picture, and put it on top of a sweatshirt, and he actually.
Oh my God! There he is with us now. Bernie's with us.
Love that.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. All the
But yeah,
proceeds,
you
I
put it on
forget
a
what
sweatshirt.
organization.
The proceeds go
Good
to an
one.
organization. It's like $45. So yeah, it's to charity. There
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
and
pretty
I have some bad news for all the thirsty ladies out there. Michael B. Jordan, he is off the market.
Yeah,
He has
man.
become Instagram official with Steve Harvey's stepdaughter.
Lori.
You like that couple?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. What do you think? What do you think? I'm interested in hearing from you, Yo-Yo. I think they're so cute. No?
Is there a big age difference between them?
I think it is fake.
You think it's fake?
Absolutely.
Why do you think
I
it's fake?
think, the way they are throwing it in our face, they're literally shoving it down our throats.
Maybe.
I do not believe that this is-
Do you think it was a publicity thing to get the stepdaughter some publicity, or Michael B. Jordan, or both, or
No, they're both good off that. I
Yeah?
don't think so. I don't think it's fake. I think it's real love.
I don't know.
I know.
She was formerly with
Trust
Sean Diddy Combs' son, Justin Combs.
She was with Justin Combs. She was with Diddy, his dad.
Oh,
she was with Future.
She was with both?
Yeah.
Son
Yes.
and? She was with both
Yes.
son and?
Yes.
Oh, that's really
our girl
uncomfortable.
Lori's just out
I
here
didn't
to
know
get-
that. I didn't know she was with
didn't
both
know
son
that.
and.
Future.
Wait. Go back. She was with Diddy and Diddy's son?
Yes.
That's really uncomfortable.
Yes. Not at the same time.
I know, but it doesn't
I
really
think-
matter. That would be really
I'm
uncomfortable.
telling you, I know that this is a publicity stunt. This is a come up for both of them. Michael B. Jordan finally came out with the Sexiest Man Alive title. They want to see him with a black woman, finally. They just want to see him in a relationship. Lori Harvey has gone with probably like 5 rappers within the last year. So she's kind of known as the male, or like the female male, because she does rappers exactly how rappers do females. She like goes out with them, gets treated like a queen, and then drops them. And it's like Future is like one of the biggest players in the world, and she even played him. So this is like a cutesy come up for both of them, but it ain't real.
So there was also Trey Songz. She was with Justin Combs for like 2 months. So apparently
that's really awkward. Who is she
Should
with
we
first,
even
the
count
father or
Justin?
the son?
It doesn't matter if you were in a
That's just
relationship.
so awkward.
Brad.
I'm just like, oh man.
Brad, that's like somebody
I'm like cringing.
A girl going out with your son and then going out with
I'm just cringing about that. That's awful.
It ain't real.
She did go with Diddy. I didn't know that.
It's caca.
Meanwhile, did you see Dwayne Wade posted a picture, a nude, for his 39th birthday? Did you check that one out?
Yes, with Gabby.
He stripped down via Instagram for his 39th birthday, and his kids reacted in the comments. One said birthday behavior. He captioned it birthday behavior on January 18th, which was a mirror selfie with his wife, Gabrielle Union. But Zaire commented, the oldest son, he goes, "This isn't what I wanted to wake up to." And Zaya, a 13-year-old, wrote, "Are you chill? I just got on."
No, hey yo, chill.
Hey, yo,
chill. I just got on. Right. I got it now.
Oh my God.
Right.
That's so funny. I just got on. Oh my God.
Again,
I love them though.
again,
They do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah, you like
I
that
love
you
them
didn't
too.
mind. That you didn't mind.
No, I definitely love them. That's real love right there.
Right. And finally, Justin Timberlake and actress Jessica Biel welcome their second child. His name is Phineas.
Don't care.
Oh, they're so private. They're so don't do that.
You don't care about them?
The biggest
I
JT.
don't care about them. After Justin Timberlake did Janet Jackson wrong the way he did, he mistreated and
From
he
the Super
was
Bowl?
very foul.
From the Super Bowl?
Yes, at the Super Bowl, because Janet Jackson lost a bunch of deals after that when he's the one who actually pulled off the thing. She didn't want that. She didn't know that it was going to happen.
Well,
and
you
he
really
did not
but that was over
step
a
up.
decade ago.
Yeah,
You're holding a grudge against him still?
He did not, because he did not step up and have her back when he should have. He went on and got all these deals, and she was blacklisted for years. I don't care about him.
You don't care about him,
You
and I don't
know-
care about him either. I just ripped up the card. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm a huge JT fan, and I doubt that was an accident, and Janet didn't know that was going to happen. Okay.
She didn't.
Okay. Right.
And even if she did, that means that he did as well, and he did not stand up for her and have her back.
Well,
Sorry.
I ripped it up. I'm no longer a Justin Timberlake fan. Thank you very much.
Good.
Yo-Yo
Thank
for
you.
filling
Someone
me in.
clearly
Yo-Yo
said
doesn't like him.
that her
I don't like them. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. Yo-Yo says, I don't like the guy, then Uncle Brad don't like the guy either. That's how I roll.
Vice versa. You already know it's vice versa. I got your back, too. Oh, guys,
what?
Wait, before we leave, so in the comments, Violet and Fiona Scott Blackwood have the same surname. So right now they're trying to figure out if they're related or not. How amazing is that?
The only way to do it is you have to do a 23andMe, and you spit in the thing. I think it's like $39 or something. You spit in the thing.
So you can find out?
You can find out, yeah. You go to 23andMe, you spit in it, and you send it off, and they send you who your DNA relatives are, anybody else who spits in the thing. So you both go spit in the thing, spend the $39, and you'll find out if you're related.
Y'all should do it.
That's right. Free plug for 23andMe. Okay, right. They're not even paying me to do that.
The squad, the mess. Yo-Yo got mad. Yeah, Yo-Yo's out here. I don't know. You can't talk about JT like that around me. JT is a boss. Okay, Rock J. Roberts. Exactly. Exactly. I agree.
All right. So we have differing opinions there, Yo-Yo. But in today's Braducation, we can't argue with this. I answer the question, when can I file for my citizenship? Everybody always asks me, when can I file for my citizenship? Well, the general rule is it's 5 years after you obtained your permanent residence. But you get to file 90 days before your 5-year anniversary. Except, of course, if you are married to a U.S. citizen in a bona fide marriage. Then you can file 3 years after you got your green card, but 90 days before your 3-year anniversary. And of course, if you're in the U.S. military, you can file 1 year after you've had your green card. Voila! That's when you can file for your citizenship. All right, guys, this is the meat and potatoes part.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer your immigration questions. And we're going to start with parole in Ontario, I guess Canada. Is this Ontario, Canada?
No, it's Ontario, California.
Oh, California. There's such a place as Ontario, California. Okay, didn't know that. How are you? What's going on and how can I help you?
I'm fine, very thank you. And I have an immigration question to ask you.
What?
Okay, so I applied for an asylum case last year in 2020 June,
right.
And after 150 days or 180 days in between that, I applied for EAD after consulting our lawyer. He said that you can apply for EAD after 150 days to 180 days anytime. So we applied it in December 2020, and now I have received a letter from the USCIS mentioning that they have denied my EAD because the time of the calendar days is 365 days after you have applied for the asylum case.
Yeah, but that went into effect, if my recollection is correct, in August. So if your work permit went in before that date, the immigration is incorrect. So are you sure when it was filed?
Yeah, I'm sure on 2nd December they have received my EAD.
December 2nd?
Yeah.
Not in June?
No, in June I have filed my asylum case.
Okay, all right. So then the answer is they are correct, and your lawyer is wrong because after August you have to wait 1 year to file for your asylum.
Okay,
after August you have to wait 1 year to file for your work permit through asylum. Excuse me.
Okay, so what can I do now?
Wait the 1 year, unfortunately.
Okay, so I can refile it
in June.
In June, correct. Okay. So there is no problem?
No problem. You just got to wait the 365 days.
Okay. So because our lawyer is saying that I can do something or this and that because I don't trust.
You can make motions to reopen and reconsider, but you're going to be denied.
You're
going to waste your time and effort and money. Wait the 365 days, refile again. Okay? And it has no effect on your pending asylum case. You just file early.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Monica in Boston. Monica.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So I want to ask that if I take rental assistance offered by my city, will it come under public charge? Because the criteria stated is that if a person has a low income below 80%
Is it Section 8?
I don't know about section, but it says if the income is...
So if you're getting rental assistance under what's called Section 8, it could affect the 944 application that you would file with your adjustment. If it's otherwise, I wouldn't worry about it.
Right. So if it's below annual median income, will it come under Section 8?
Well, it depends what program. Section 8 is a program, so I don't know what you're applying for.
Okay. All right. And I have been saving mails to prove that me and my husband live together. So do I need to save the promotional mails as well?
You have, what about 7 meals?
No, I have been saving mails.
Saving mails. No, you're not going to submit your mail with your application. You're going to bring it with you to the interview.
Right. So do I need to save the promotional mails?
Save everything that shows that you and him live together. Yes. Be a whore. Okay. Be the opposite of Marie Kondo.
All right. All right. Thank you.
All right. You know the woman who tells you to throw everything away? You're going to do the opposite. Stephanie in Porterville, California. Stephanie. Stephanie.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good. What can I do to help you today?
I have a question for a friend. He's applying for the VAWA, but in the application, there's a question that says that if the beneficiary ever worked illegally here in the United States, and it asks them to explain itself. So he has worked illegally, but he says that they advise him to put no.
No, I don't know who they is. The fact that you worked illegally in the United States is not a bar to getting a green card through VAWA. So my advice is tell the truth, because a bar to getting a green card through VAWA is lying. So tell the truth, it won't hurt you. And explain yourself. I worked here out of status without authorization. Why? I needed money so I could survive. Period.
Okay. Another quick question. How much is the process for VAWA?
There is no fee to file an I-360 VAWA application. But what I would suggest everybody does is file an adjustment application with the VAWA application so you can get your work permit. And that adjustment fee is $1,225.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Fumi in Houston. Fumi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Brad. My question is, so I filed for my husband in 2018, and we were just wondering for us to file for his citizenship. So he has his green card now. He has his 2-year green card now. So I was wondering, do we file 90 days from our 90 days before our 3-year wedding anniversary, or 90 days before the 3-year anniversary of the green card?
90 days before the 3-year anniversary of the green card.
Of the green card.
Correct.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
All right.
Yao in Houston, Texas. Yao.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hi, friend. Hello.
Hi, Yao.
Yeah. I have some question. So I come here in 2016, in April 2016, and February 2018, I have some problem with the Metropolis. So they accuse me for
what was your problem with the police?
Yeah, but I did in the Metro.
What was your problem with the police?
Yeah, I did on the Metro, but some lady stopped the Metro worker talked to me. I say I don't know what it means. So that time I don't understand what they say. So that 2 police of Metro jumped on me. Then they accused me for resist for arrest.
What?
So the case was
what? I don't understand what happened. You talked to a lady and the police arrested you?
Yeah, but she's a Metro worker. So he asked me for my Metro card.
Okay, so you had some sort of altercation with a transit worker, and the police came and arrested you. And all right, so then what were you charged with?
Yeah, but the case was dismissed, expulsion. But I want to apply for my citizen. I want to know if that can affect my case.
Okay. A, when did it happen?
2018.
Okay. And when did you get your green card?
I get my green card April 2016.
All right. So you're going to file for your citizenship now based on 5 years coming up, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you have to prove you're a person of good moral character for 5 years. You got arrested. The case was dismissed. I assume that's the only time you've ever been arrested.
Yeah, they happened in 2018.
Only one time. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So you're allowed to have a bad day. You got arrested. The case was dismissed. I would argue all day long that that doesn't make you a person of bad moral character. If you called me and told me a situation where, you know, you have 3 different arrests for arguing with transit workers over the last 5 years and they all got dismissed, well, then I'm going to tell you that you may have a problem because you keep getting arrested for the same thing, arguing with people. Maybe you're not a good person. But at one time, you had a bad day. Yeah. All right, so it's fine. Just bring the disposition and show it's dismissed, okay?
All right.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Ben.
Let's go to John in Baltimore. John. John. John in Baltimore. Going once, John. Going twice. Gotta go. Daniel in Albany. Daniel. Daniel.
Hi, Danny. How are you, Brad?
How are you?
Very good. I have a question. I have 2 questions, by the way. I'm a Canadian citizen right now. I have 10-year bar in the past. It's until April 2022.
Why do you have a 10-year bar?
I overstayed 5 years in the past.
And then you left.
Sorry?
And then you left the United States.
Yeah, I left voluntarily, and then this last year, before the pandemic, I applied for the I-192. I got approval.
Question. Listen to me, please.
Yeah, the question is, I came here legally July, married to a U.S. citizen. I left volunteer, and then again I came here end of October. Now the 95 days over. Can I adjust my status even though I have a waiver in the past? Hello?
Are you done now?
Yeah, I'm done.
I didn't listen to you. You want to know why I didn't listen to you? Because you weren't listening to me. Why would I listen to you if you don't listen to me?
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So now, listen to me, and then I'll listen to you.
Okay.
Okay. So when were you in the United States?
2007 to 2012.
Okay. And how did you come to the United States in 2007?
As a seaman, on a seaman visa.
Okay. And where are you originally from?
India.
All right. And when you left in 2012, you said you left voluntarily. That
yes.
Were you in deportation and had a voluntary departure, or you just physically left the United States?
Voluntarily left. No deportation. No arrest.
Okay. And where did you go to?
I'm sorry?
Where did you leave to?
Went to Israel. I'm an Israeli citizen, and then I became a Canadian.
Okay. So you're a Canadian citizen now?
Now.
Okay. And you entered the United States, or you have not entered the United States yet?
I entered the United States last July, and then I left. And then
before the 10-year bar?
Yes. But I got my I-92 approval, I-192.
Okay, so you got a waiver to re-enter?
Yes.
Okay. And then you left and went back to Canada?
Yes, I went back to Canada after my civil marriage, and then I came again on end of October.
With a waiver?
With a waiver.
Okay.
Legal entry.
Okay. And you are now, your 10-year bar is going to be up when?
Yes.
When?
10-year bar till April next year.
Okay. So you can't apply for any green card until April of next year. I mean, you could try to file an adjustment with a waiver here in the United States now if you choose to. There's a waiver for the 10-year bar based on extreme hardship to your wife. So you can try to do the adjustment now, or you can wait until the 10 years is up and do it. Yeah, but you're here now, you're married, You can certainly try to file the adjustment with a waiver. You got to show extreme and unusual hardship to your wife.
Okay.
All right, because you came with a non-immigrant waiver to the United States.
Okay.
So they allowed you, so you didn't break any laws. You're here now, you're married. You can certainly try to file an adjustment, or, and I would file it. Honestly, as I think about it, I would file the adjustment because worst comes to worst, the waiver gets denied. By the time the waiver gets denied, it'll be 2022. You'll be past the 10 years, you refile again.
Okay. Because today is the 95th day after I came here, so during the pandemic it may be delay until next. That's what I might guess.
I didn't understand your question, but yes, you should not file anything within your first 90 days because that would be a different issue of misrepresentation.
Today is the 95th day.
All right.
90.
All right. So Daniel, this is my answer to you.
Okay.
If you choose to, you can marry. You're already married. You can file an adjustment application with a 601 waiver based on extreme and unusual hardship to your current wife that you live with, that if you and her were separated, she would suffer an extreme and unusual hardship. You can do that. You have to prove extreme and unusual hardship. You need a good lawyer. Okay? Worst comes to worst, it gets denied. It'll be 2022. You'll be past 10 years. You'll just refile again. Hold on if you need help. Let's go to Frank in Chicago. Frank.
Hey, Brad. How are you?
How are you?
Good. Everything's good. Thanks for taking my call, and hi to the squad up.
Thank you.
Really nice talking to you.
Thank you.
I got a question. I got my citizenship interview coming up in March.
Right.
And normally I file my taxes, tax returns end of March. So, the 2020 tax return, would you advise filing it early, or,
It wouldn't matter. So, in other words...
It wouldn't matter because the deadline is April 15th. So, can they ask, why haven't you filed your 2020 tax return?
No, because your deadline is April 15th. So, if your interview is after April 15th, unless and I believe the IRS has put an extension. I read something about that, but I don't remember if I actually read that.
Yeah, you cannot file until February 12th of this year, the last year's tax return.
So the answer is, if your interview is after the filing deadline, it's probably going to get extended. But if it's after the filing deadline, yes, you better bring your tax return. If it's before
it's in the first,
if it's before the filing deadline, the answer is, haven't filed it yet, and I'm not required to. Perfectly fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's in the first week of March.
So you're fine.
Because it got because of the inauguration, so it was on the 19th, so it got postponed till March.
No, so you don't have to bring the 2020 tax return.
All right. Thank you very much, Brad. I appreciate all your help. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Abhishek in Westfield, New Jersey. Abhishek.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, Brian. How are you doing, man?
Good. What's going on?
Thanks for taking my call, bro.
My pleasure.
I have just question. I just applied for I-360, and my lawyer applied with I-485, and my I-131 an EAD card. I already received the EAD card.
You're going way, way, way too fast. You filed the I-360. You're an abused spouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
you did an adjustment with it.
Yes.
Okay.
And
when did you file this?
It's 2020 February.
Okay. And now your question is what?
So I got the advance parole and my EAD card together. Okay. So the question is that okay? If I fly to India, but I have before that my lawyer apply what's it called, asylum, but my case is on asylum office. Is not go to the court. I never go to the interview, something like that.
I don't know enough about your asylum case, but my personal view is that if you filed for asylum, you should withdraw it if you're filing it for a VAWA case. So your asylum case should be withdrawn. But withdrawn. But more importantly, if you file for asylum, what you're telling the U.S. government, I've had these questions a lot recently. What you're telling the U.S. government is, my life's in danger if I go home. They're going to kill me. They're going to torture me. They're going to put me in prison. And now all of a sudden, you file a different application. You have a travel document, and you're going on a holiday to India, like it's vacation time. So then at that point, the government can very easily deny your VAWA case for misrepresentation. So my advice would not be to travel until you're a U.S. citizen.
Okay. Thank you. Sounds good.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Bobbit in Queens.
Hi, afternoon, Bob. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm not bad, thanks. Okay, I'm calling on behalf of a friend of mine.
Yes.
And the question is, okay, first of all, she has two daughters who are LPRs, and they used to travel between here and Jamaica when they got their green cards.
Right.
So the longest they stayed was like 10 months because they had their moms there and they were still going to school there. So she wants
How old are these children?
One is 17 and the other one is now 21. So they went to Jamaica in 2016 of June and they spent 10 months. And then they went back in 2017 and they spent 2 months. So they want to know if they can go ahead and file for citizenship this year.
Well, the 17-year-old can't because you can't file for naturalization until you're 18. So that's number one.
Okay.
Okay. The 21, this is the rules. And you're asking me to do math on the fly. And there's a reason why I'm not a doctor and I'm a lawyer because I'm not good at math. But these are the rules. Okay. So let me tell you what the rules are and you can do your own math. All right.
Okay.
So you have to go back 5 years in your life. So she's 21. Excuse me. She's 21. You have to go back to when she was 16. Between age 16 and 21 for 5 years, was there any trip more than 6 months? I think you told me there was. So that would
there was.
So that would automatically disqualify her right off the bat.
Okay.
Okay. The second rule is in the last 5 years, if you have to add up all the time you were outside of the United States, do you have at least 30 out of 60 months in the United States? So she probably has 30 out of 60 months, although she has 10 months that breaks that I was out of the country more than 6 months. That breaks that rule. Okay. Now, there are exceptions to the rule I just told you. So we could talk about that now. Okay. And there's no exception for you have to be physically in the United States more than 30 out of 60 months. I mean, you have to be physically here more than 30 out of 60 months. There's no exception to that. She's got that. So if you have less than 30 out of 60 months, SOL, if you know what that means. Okay? But there is an exception to I was outside of the United States in the last 5 years between 6 months and a year. Okay? That breaks your eligibility for citizenship, but you have a rebuttal to that to overcome what would be the denial, which would be you don't have the residence requirements. And your rebuttal is that I was domiciled here in the United States. I went for school, or I went for a job that I had in the United States who sent me abroad, or I worked for the government and they sent me abroad and came back. But I was domiciled. I had everything here in the U.S., my family, my home, my bed, everything. You told me she went to school there for 10 months. So what you would have to be able to show is that all the times that she wasn't in school, she was coming back to the United States.
Yes, they were.
So it's worth trying. All right. And she was a minor when she did it. Okay.
Yeah.
I had last year I had a doctor who applied for citizenship, and she went to medical school down in the Caribbean. And all the time she was in medical school, she obviously wasn't in the U.S. She was outside of the United States for more than 6 months, but we were able to show that as soon as school was over, she was coming back every time.
Yeah.
So although she had more than, there was one trip that she was out of the U.S. for about 7 or 8 months, but she came back. She still had the 30 out of 60 months, and we were still able to make her a citizen.
Oh, okay.
But you probably need a good lawyer for that.
Okay, and if she qualifies, do you know about how long it would take to get her citizenship?
About a year these days.
About a year. And one more question. Her mom is here. She wants to know if she can file for her mom and what documents to file.
She can't file for her mom until she's a citizen.
Yes, she knows, but she wants to know what documents to file when the time comes and about how long.
An adjustment application. I don't know what documents they're going to require. Biden's going to overhaul all the laws. and we'll worry about it in a year from now. Call me back in a year, and I'll tell you. All right?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Bye.
Let's go to Jermaine in Brooklyn. Jermaine.
Hello?
Hi, how are you, Jermaine?
Yeah, I'm doing bad.
What's going on?
Yeah, I just want to ask you a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I applied for my adjustment of status 2019 May.
Right.
So I get my work permit like March last year. From that, I do not hear anything. Can you have any ideas what I should do?
You can wait. It's been May of what year did you file?
2019 May.
All right. So where did you file? Here in New York?
Huh?
You filed in New York. You live in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, Brooklyn,
and it's
New York.
marriage.
Yeah.
Okay. If your case is pending more than 1 year and you haven't heard from immigration, there's one solution only. You file a mandamus or a threat of a mandamus, which is if you're married to a U.S. citizen, you're immediately eligible for a green card. So immediately eligible doesn't mean 2.5 years later they decide to give you an interview. So,
yeah, cause it's been what? It's been like what? 1 year? 1 year and 3 months?
More than that if you filed in May. 1 year and 6 months. 1 year and 7 months. So you can file a mandamus and force them to do it. Hold on 1 second. I can help you.
Okay.
Let's go to Dan and Elizabeth. Dan.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question.
Yes.
I came here in the US with a K1 visa in 2017.
Right.
My husband filed for me for the adjustment.
Right.
I got the work permit, and unfortunately, the marriage didn't work out. So, and they sent the interview. I couldn't go because he wasn't wanted to go with me.
Okay.
So, right now I'm working on the divorce because my case got denied. Is there a way I actually can get the green card after the divorce or file for a new case?
Well, anybody who goes through a marriage adjustment and it doesn't work out has the same 3 options. You can file a VAWA case, which is an abuse case, if you can show extreme emotional abuse, physical abuse, and you can do that on your own. I mean, not literally file on your own, but you don't need a petitioner. You file, it's just yourself. Number 2, you can get divorced and remarry again in a bona fide marriage, and hopefully you learn some lessons and the second marriage is better. Or 3, you can stop the divorce, send flowers and chocolates, and work it out with your husband. Those are your 3 options. Was there abuse in the relationship?
No.
Okay, so then the answer is you got to get divorced and find another way.
Okay.
All right.
And the 3 option is file for VAWA.
But you can't file. You don't have that option anymore. You just told me there was no abuse.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right. So now your option is either get back together with your husband and work it out, or find a husband number 2 that you could live with, or perhaps the amnesty is going to pass, which we believe. There's very, very well may be that there's an amnesty in 90 days from now, and you'll get an amnesty.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
Thank you very much.
Let's wait and see what happens. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Let's go to Harrison in New York. Harrison. Harrison.
Yes, Brad, good evening. I'm good, thank you.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So I have a quick question here.
Yes.
Came into the US in 2018 and then applied for an asylum. The case was heard, but I was denied and then referred to an immigration court. So the case has been fixed for July this year. And my lawyer has not really been, really present, as it were. He stays very far in Tennessee while I'm in New York. So my question is, he's willing to appear in the case in July. Can 2 attorneys represent me in that case?
No. No, you don't have 2 attorneys represent you. You have 1 attorney represent you.
I didn't hear you.
You have 1 attorney represent you. 1. 1 attorney
One attorney.
1 attorney.
Okay. Then the second question is, can I just walk into your office and then see consultation, and then we take it off from there?
No, you cannot walk into my office. There's COVID. What you can do is hold on and schedule a consultation. Hold on. Let's go to Anthony in Orlando. Anthony.
Good night, Brad.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for accepting my call.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Brad, I have 3 questions.
Yes.
First, when a resident filing for their kids, everything was approved and it went to the NVC,
right.
And they said they were going to send it to the country for the interview.
Right.
But because of the shutdown with the former president, do they reopen that stuff?
Not yet. Not yet. Not unless they are children under 21 of U.S. citizens. But if they're in the F2B, they're in the F1, F3 category, you got to wait at least till March 31st and see what happens.
March 31st?
Yep, that's when the proclamation ends. We'll see if Biden extends it.
Okay. The second question, I filed for citizenship, and I received 2 letters. The first one that they received the payment and everything, and this in about another 2 weeks they sent me another one saying that they accept the application.
Right.
But then there was a shutdown again where they said that they won't do any interview for citizenship because the pandemic. So I haven't received anything. Do you have any idea how long before they reopen that?
I'm not Dr. Fauci. I don't know. Unfortunately, we have to see what happens with COVID. All right, so let's keep our fingers crossed.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. The last question.
Yes.
Yes.
By the way, this was your third last question, but I'll take it.
Yeah, it's that.
All right.
Okay. I was married to a U.S. citizen,
right.
And then I got divorced. I didn't know that she divorced me. We got things didn't work out, and so we separated. I got a divorce. But when we got the divorce, I found out she sent it to a different address. She didn't send it to where I was staying, and she knew where I was staying. You think that would be a problem?
Well, what you're saying is that you either weren't properly served with the divorce summons or were not properly served with the final divorce judgment.
Right.
And my answer to you is, as long as you're happy being divorced, who cares? You're divorced. If you're not happy being divorced, then you can make a big stink about it.
Okay.
But it has no effect on your citizenship.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Right.
And continue to do your good work. And you're doing a great job.
My pleasure.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to Precious in Chicago. Precious.
Good evening, Brad.
Good
Hope
evening,
you're well.
Precious. Thank you. What's going on?
Yeah, I've got 2 questions.
Yes.
One, I filed for a VAWA case, and on my VAWA application, I told the U.S. immigration the reason why I didn't want to be sent back to my home country is because our current government kills Christians.
But that's not a VAWA case. That's an asylum case.
Oh no! Like I have a VAWA case. I was married. I'm still married to a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, no, but on a VAWA case, you don't have to explain why you don't want to go home.
Okay.
So it doesn't. So all you have to do is show you are abused. There was a real marriage, it was bona fide, and you're a person of good moral character. But why you want to go home or don't want to go home, why you want to stay in America is irrelevant. Were you abused? Are you a person of good moral character? Was it a real marriage? Period.
Yeah. But I just wanted to double check if it was safe for me to go back home. I haven't seen my family for 5 years.
Have you applied for asylum?
No, I'm still in status.
You never did.
Hello?
You never applied for asylum?
No, sir.
Okay, you have advanced parole or you have a green card now?
I do have an EAD.
And the advanced parole, it's a combo card?
No, but they asked me they told me I can apply for
advanced
a parole.
Okay, yeah. So yes, you can apply for parole. It's safe to go home. Don't stay home for more than a month.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And by the way, if you didn't get an opportunity to get your questions answered, well, we're going to try to answer as many through social media as we can in a few minutes. But you could also follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. If you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram, you can drop me a DM. You could ask everybody in the squad. They will vouch for me. I answer the questions. I may not answer it immediately because I'm busy, but I will when I open my Instagram. I will go through all of my messages and try to give you my best answer. Sometimes I'll tell you, you know what, you need an appointment. Other times I'll say yes, no, maybe, or give you, a couple sentences advice on what to do. So all you got to do is follow me at Real Brad Bernstein. I'm happy to try to help you as best as I can. You can also follow me at Brad Show Live. If you follow me at Brad Show Live, you can't handle 2 hours of the show, and some people can't. They can't handle 2 hours of Brad, Yo-Yo, and Vanessa, but they can handle 2 minutes. Then follow at Brad Show Live on Instagram for the best 2 minutes of our shows every day, little tidbits. And Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, what do you got?
Yes, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
And later, do you know what footing is? What foot voting is? Well, stick around to find out. I will be speaking to George Mason University professor of law, blogger, and author Ilya Somin about his newest book, Free to Move, Foot Voting, Migration, and Political Freedom.
And stick around because we will be coming into social media check-in. But first, we're going to take a close look up at some of the many different personal immigration stories people have shared with us through the years.
My grandparents came from Russia, and my wife's parents came from Italy. They immigrated back in 1910, and they became citizens, and life started from there. I'm third generation immigrant.
Nice.
As we all are.
My immigration story was blind love. I met my husband online. Yeah, they say love at first sight. I say love at first email. It's been 12 years, happily married, 2 kids.
We came in 2006. We came as a whole family, and I was 14 when I came here, and we were chasing the American dream for a better future.
I came here 8 years ago because I'm married with my husband. And my cousin Nigel, he came here because study here, and then he decided to live here.
My family, they're actually of Ecuadorian descent. I'm the first member of my family to be born here in America. So basically it all starts with my grandpa. He was the one who initiated the start to move to the United States. Him and my grandmother had 12 kids. They brought them here to the States. The economic standpoint at that time wasn't a good one. They struggled to get to where they are today, but thanks to God and everything, everything went well, and I was able to be born here along with my other cousin who was also born in America. So it's honestly been a great journey, thanks to him. That's my grandpa.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in. Let's see what everybody has to ask me on social media, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, from our VIP sections. I'm all ears.
All right. All right, first one comes from Muhammad Islam saying, I came as a visitor in 2015 and lost my legal status in 2016 and applied for a U visa in 2018. Am I eligible for amnesty?
Yes.
And
I mean, for an amnesty that doesn't exist yet and we don't know what the final rules are, my answer is yes, based on what I'm reading in the news. We'll see what the law is.
Okay.
The Jaka on YouTube. I'm currently in H-1B with approved I-140. My EB-2 AOS is pending. My wife and I have received EAD cards. I don't intend to use my EAD. My question is, can my spouse work on her EAD?
Yes.
Sandair on YouTube. I have an AOS pending. It is a problem, or is it a problem if I don't file taxes with my wife because we never file together?
Yes, it's a huge problem. You have to show a financial relationship between you and your spouse if your wife is actually sponsoring you.
Anna Sanchez on YouTube. I entered the country with a K-1 visa and did AOS. I am traveling for 10 days to my home country. My passport and my green card name are different. Will this be a problem at point of entry?
I guess it's different because you have your green card as your married name and your passport as your maiden name. Just carry your marriage certificate with you.
Okay, Quinta on YouTube. My brother had filed for his wife last year, January 2020, as a green card holder. He just became a U.S. citizen this month. Can he file again for his wife as a citizen?
Yes, but you can also upgrade the case that he filed as a resident.
Sam Mava on YouTube. My friend has been here since 2007 and maintenance status till 2013. In 2013, he got an H-1B, but he didn't get paid checks. Now he has a family of 3 kids, 2 U.S. born, 1 Indian born, and both of my friends and his child are undocumented. What can he do?
Call for a consultation. Yo.
Abdul Latif on YouTube. USCIS is reviewing my I-130. What will happen next?
They'll make a decision. Either you're approved or denied.
Camille Grab on YouTube. What is the average timeline from NVC to embassy interview? The embassies are closed now in Poland, but what's the average time once NVC approved and reviewed case?
Before COVID, if your priority date was current or you're an immediate relative, it was about 8 to 12 weeks. But now, who knows? Because who knows when the embassies are going to reopen for different types of cases.
Hey, Native on YouTube. I had a misdemeanor 15 years ago. I've been a green card holder for the last 20 years. Can I apply for citizenship now?
You had a green card for how long?
A green card holder for the last 20 years and had a misdemeanor 15 years ago.
Well, it depends what the misdemeanor was for. I would need to know a lot more.
Sandra Campbell on YouTube. It's been a year since I filed for my AOS through marriage. However, my work authorization will expire in 5 months. Should I file another I-130 or wait for my interview?
Wait for your interview, but you should file an I-765 for the renewal of your employment authorization document. I think they were asking for the wrong form.
Okay, Chef Johnson on YouTube. In this new immigration bill, can H-2B workers file for green cards?
Maybe.
Ty Dollars on YouTube. Right. We don't want to give false information here. We don't know
yet.
Ty Dollars. Exactly. Ty Dollars on YouTube. I traveled for 3 weeks. Coming in, the CBP pulled me aside and started asking me if I had a child in the country. Why?
Because they think you have a child in the country, but if you don't, then don't worry about it. Because and if they think you have a child in the country, they think that either you're coming to live here permanently, or that you gave birth on a visa that you shouldn't have. Who knows?
Gumpop Candace on YouTube. How does a restraining order affect citizenship for a permanent resident who had a dismissed domestic violence charge?
If you have a restraining order, you can't prove good moral character. So you need 5 years good moral character from the end of the restraining order.
Kiki on YouTube. If you are married to an LPR, will you not have to go back to your country and get your papers and risk 3 and 10-year bans?
If you're married to an LPR and you're in legal status, you can adjust your status. Or if you're married to an LPR and you're 245I, you could adjust your status. Other than that, if you did go home, you would have a 3 or 10-year bar, but you would do a provisional waiver. If you were smart, get the provisional waiver approved, then go home and come back in 2 weeks.
SV Glam Up on YouTube. My friend has DACA qualifications but never applied. Can he apply if they had legal status on June 15, 2012 and later fell out of status?
Yes.
Drew Barry on YouTube. Green card holders come back to the U.S. from their home country during coronavirus without a problem?
Depends on how long you're out of the United States. The laws are the laws. So if you're out for more than 6 months, they're going to question why were you out. But if it was because of coronavirus and you couldn't get on a plane or you were sick, well, it's not a problem. If it was just you didn't feel like coming back for a year and a half, you're going to have a problem.
Wahid Javed on YouTube. From which date that amnesty plan will be applicable to get first 5 years temporary status? On the date someone enters the USA or the date someone files an asylum case?
Are they talking about amnesty or asylum?
They said what date the amnesty plan will be applicable.
The amnesty plan is if you were here on January 1st, 2021, and you had violated your status somehow, you're eligible for the amnesty. We'll figure out what people in asylum what they would qualify for. And we don't know what is going to pass, what the ultimate law will be.
Sasha Ken's on Facebook. My sister lives in Jamaica and her husband lives in the U.S. They are married. He is a U.S. citizen and filing for her. What if she got pregnant from him and had the baby in Jamaica? Will the baby still automatically become a U.S. citizen? How would she go about getting the baby a passport?
As long as the baby is born, at least one parent's a U.S. citizen and lived in the United States for 5 years prior to the baby's birth and some sort of legal status as a green card holder or as a citizen, and that living in the U.S. was after the age of 14, that child's an automatic U.S. citizen. You would take proof that the father, I guess that's you, is a U.S. citizen, was living in the U.S. for at least 5 years before the birth, to the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica, and they would give that baby a U.S. passport.
Alex Oliveira on YouTube just received the I-797 notice of action yesterday. How long after my EAD card arrives might we have the interview for adjustment of status?
I don't know, but it could be anywhere from tomorrow to the next 12 months.
Nicole Hernandez on Facebook. I submitted my documents to NVC from October 2020. My priority date is April 2019. I am a wife of an American citizen. When do you think I will hear from them?
I don't know. Tomorrow or the next year. You're asking me for when you're going to get an interview. I don't know.
Stacy McCoy on Facebook. We went to an interview last week and my husband got his 10-year green card. We have only been married 1 year and 5 months. The immigration officer said he would get a 2-year conditional card, but the 10-year came in the mail. Should we send it back, or was it because we have a child together and we presented enough evidence that our marriage is legitimate?
No, they made a mistake on the manufacturer of the card. You still are a 2-year resident. You're going to have to remove the conditions of your permanent residence in 2 years. I would suggest send it back and let the manufacturer a proper card for you.
Casey Raffic on Facebook. My F1 student visa is included in the TPS program, and will I be covered by Biden's amnesty?
If you are in the TPS program, you would be covered by Biden's amnesty, but we'll see what Congress's amnesty is.
Melissa Frater on YouTube. Can my friend get married in the USA, apply for her green card, and apply for her kids at the same time? Or does she have to wait until she receives her green card?
She could apply for the kids at the same time. It wouldn't be her applying for the kids. It would be the spouse applying for the kids, provided the marriage happened before the kids were 18. We're going to do 3 more questions.
Ken Kalidas on YouTube. Can I travel outside the U.S. if I get a work permit and travel documents before my interview for a VAWA case?
Yes, just don't stay out for more than a month.
Okay, Dion Wright on YouTube. I'm a green card holder living in New York, filing for my underage children from Jamaica. Can their father, who lives in Florida, be my joint affidavit of support?
Absolutely.
Diane Wright on YouTube. I am a green card holder living in...
I read that.
Wait. Oh, I don't know why. Okay, here we go. Mantu Yorayo Duradola on YouTube. What are the documents to bring my stepchild from Nigeria to the U.S.?
You're going to file for them. I assume you're a resident or a citizen, so it would be the marriage certificate to the mother or the parent. I don't know if you're a man or woman. I couldn't figure out by the name. But the marriage certificate to the spouse, divorce decrees from any prior marriages for you and your spouse, and proof that your spouse is the biological parent of that child. And with that, Ilya Somin is a professor of law at George Mason University, an author and a blogger. His newest book, Free to Move, Foot Voting, Migration, and Political Freedom, delves into 3 kinds of foot voting and how they can enhance political liberty for millions globally. He joined me to explain what foot voting is and why he feels it is one of the greatest issues of our time, along with his thoughts on the other aspects of American politics. Let's watch.
Ilya Somin is a professor of law at George Mason University, an author and a blogger for The Volokh Conspiracy on the Reason Magazine website, with his interests including democracy, immigration federalism, and property rights. He joins me today to discuss his newest book, Free to Move, Foot Voting, Migration, and Political Freedom, his own immigration story, and his thoughts on immigration and American politics. Welcome, Ilya, and thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
So what type of law do you teach?
I teach constitutional law and property law. I also teach classes on federalism and on legislation.
And you are a professor at George Mason University. How long have you been doing that?
I've been there since 2003. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but it has.
Wow. And you were practicing law before that?
Not very much. I worked for a federal judge for a year, and then before and after then, I've done some practice on the side, but you can say that, like some professors, I've never been a full-time practicing lawyer.
Now, you wrote a few books, but your most recent one, Free to Move, Foot Voting, Migration, and Political Freedom. What's that all about?
It's about voting with your feet in three different kinds of ways. Through international migration, the way most Americans or their ancestors came to this country, in a federal system, like when you choose which state or local government you want to live in, and finally in the private sector, like, for example, people who choose between different private planned communities, such as condos or homeowners associations. In the book, I argue that all three of these different types of foot voting should be expanded in various ways, because they expand people's political freedom, but also expand freedom in various other ways and have the potential to enormously increase human well-being, especially for the poor and disadvantaged.
So when you say foot voting, really, I believe what you're saying is that people should be free to move from one jurisdiction to the other without any restrictions? Or
at least with as few restrictions as possible. I think there should be a strong presumption in favor of a right of freedom of movement, both domestically and internationally. And also there are a variety of reforms that I propose in the book to make freedom of movement easier in all of these dimensions. For example, reducing or eliminating exclusionary zoning, reducing or eliminating most barriers to international migration, and making it more possible to set up various kinds of private sector institutions that offer people the opportunity to vote with their feet in the market and civil society.
I think most people understand that there's barriers to international migration, but within the United States, can you give us an example where there's barriers to people not being free to move from one state to the other or from one jurisdiction to the other?
Freedom of movement in the domestic sphere is not as constrained as internationally, but there are still some very severe constraints, particularly for the poor and disadvantaged. The single biggest is exclusionary zoning. In some of the otherwise most desirable parts of the country, like many big cities and suburban areas on the East and West Coast, zoning restrictions make it difficult or almost impossible to build new housing in response to demand. As a result, millions of people are essentially blocked from moving to these places because either there's no housing at all available, or the artificial constraints of zoning make it so expensive that they're priced out of the market.
What are some of the solutions to our zoning problems?
The solution I advocate is simply cut back or eliminate many of these laws. And in recent years, many jurisdictions have begun to do that. The state of Oregon recently passed a statewide law eliminating so-called single-family zoning, that is, requirements that only single-family homes can be built in particular areas. The city of Minneapolis did something very similar even earlier. The state of California, which has some of the most severe zoning restrictions, bills that would greatly liberalize zoning there have fallen just short of passing a couple times. That in itself is a big improvement. And the same thing is true in a number of other states where such reforms are being seriously considered, including my own state of Virginia.
So what did you think when you heard Donald Trump arguing that if Joe Biden and the Democrats were to win the election, Joe Biden would change all of the zoning laws in the suburbs and they would get overrun by low-income people?
I only wish that it were true. Biden's actual agenda on this issue, I think, is better than Trump's, but it's much more modest than Trump says it is. Moreover, I find it deeply ironic that the supposed party of free markets and property rights now wants to maintain restrictions on zoning that cut off millions of people from desirable housing and job opportunities. Until Trump forced them to change, Trump's own Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Ben Carson, was himself actually a prominent critic of exclusionary zoning. He's an African American who grew up in the inner city. He knows, I'm sure, from the history of his own family and relatives and friends how awful these restrictions are. I would add that it's not the case that when you get rid of exclusionary zoning, that means the suburbs go to ruin or somehow get destroyed. Parts of the country like Houston and various parts of Texas and the Southwest, which either don't have zoning or have much less of it, there are still suburbs there crime rates are no higher than in places which have more restrictive zoning. But on the other hand, those areas are more economically productive. That means a tremendous benefit to those who are able to move to opportunity, but also a benefit to the rest of us.
Reducing the zoning would actually make for less partisanship one against the other. It would actually, you think, solve some of our discontent that we have between groups.
It can reduce it. And moreover, people who live in more diverse areas over time, I think they can become accepting of different groups. There is evidence, for instance, that people who live in areas with more immigrants are more accepting of immigration.
I see that in my own practice where people who are more favorable to immigrants are living in big cities.
One of the dominant findings that we get from survey data on attitude towards immigration in both the United States and Europe, the strongest opposition on average comes from people who live in areas with relatively few immigrants.
So what is your immigration experience and how did that affect your views regarding voting with your feet?
So I was born in the Soviet Union and came to the US in 1979. In that sense, you might say, I think my immigration experience did influence my political attitudes in various ways, but it is not actually what led me to become a scholar of immigration and to write about the subject. Ironically, I started my career in this area writing about not international migration, but voting with your feet in federal systems. I'm a federalism scholar. And over time, it gradually became clear to me that international migration is an even more powerful mechanism for people voting with their feet than is internal freedom of movement, because the differences between international jurisdictions, differences between nations are even greater than any differences we have within the US. Consider the difference between whatever you think is the best governed American state versus whatever you think is the worst governed one. It may be a pretty big difference, but it's small compared to a difference between the US and Cuba, or the US and Venezuela, or the US and Zimbabwe, and so on. So the gains here are greater. The two types of foot voting have tremendous commonalities, and it led me to write a book bringing the two together, my recent book, Free to Move.
So how did your views on immigration change over time?
I've always been generally pro-immigration. What changed over time was my estimate of the importance of the issue. I'm a libertarian, so originally I thought immigration restrictions are just one of many problematic infringements on people's freedom that the government undertake. But the more I look at immigration, the more I recognize that it's not just another excessive regulation or another problematic government program. It's one of the great issues of our time, is it literally blocks many millions of people throughout the world from freedom and opportunity. And many of them are, as a result, through no fault of their own, confined to a life of poverty and oppression, or in some cases even death. And that makes it different from most, if not all, other forms of problematic government intervention, both the enormous size of the effect and the fact that it's based on essentially circumstances of birth. If you're confined by immigration restrictions, in most cases, it's because you made the mistake of choosing the wrong parents, or you made the mistake of being born in the wrong place, or some combination of both. So in that respect, it's similar to things we now widely recognize as injustices in the domestic sphere, like racial segregation. If you're born Black, you can't live in a certain place, or like the feudal system. The system of immigration restrictions is much like international segregation or international hereditary or aristocratic privilege.
What would you say to somebody who says, well, you know, Ilya's saying just open up the borders, you know, half the world would end up in the United States of America, causing the United States to become a failed country because we couldn't be able to handle all the population?
I have several levels of response to this, and I discuss this at much greater length in my book. One is that immigration doesn't actually move as quickly as that. Puerto Ricans have been free to move to the United States for over 100 years. Puerto Rico is much poorer than the continental US, but it's simply not the case that all or even the vast majority of them have moved. So immigration is more gradual than that. However, to the extent that we do get more people over time as a result, those people become much more productive than they were previously. They contribute to the American economy. The data show immigrants are on average more innovative than natives, more likely to establish businesses, and they contribute in a wide range of ways. So immigration is not a zero-sum game, just as it's been a very good thing for the city of Miami, that they have a large Cuban immigrant population that has accrued over time. And that's been a big boost to Miami's economy, culture, and society in many different ways. In the book, I discuss also a variety of other scenarios, such as claims that immigrants might have bad political views and vote for evil politicians and the like, who might, in the extreme case, introduce the same policies in the US as exist in Cuba or Venezuela. I explained both why such concerns are greatly overblown and also how they can be addressed by measures short of excluding people.
Now, you've testified before Congress twice. What did you testify about?
In one case, I testified at the confirmation hearing for Judge Sonia Sotomayor, who of course is now Justice Sonia Sotomayor. I testified about her record on property rights. In the other case, in 2013, I testified about the use of drones for targeted killing in the war on terror.
Your testimony for using drones internationally would be?
I do not believe that targeted killing by drones is intrinsically wrong. I think it is legitimate to, in some cases, to target individual enemy combatants in a conflict. And indeed, targeting individuals with a drone may be less bad or less problematic than various other tactics used in warfare, such as bombing or artillery shells, which have more potential for killing innocent civilians caught in a crossfire. But it should be emphasized that this is part of a more general concern for minimizing innocent casualties in war.
So what are your thoughts on Supreme Court term limits?
I'm generally in favor of them. I wrote a piece about this. I think it requires a constitutional amendment, so I disagree with some people who say it can be done by legislation. But I think the reason for term limits is not that it will solve all of our problems. I think it will do is regularize the process. So if you have 18-year term limits, then a new seat on the Supreme Court would open up every 2 years. So we would be less trapped by the vagaries of when somebody passes away or decides to retire or the like. Second, it would eliminate the incentive to appoint younger nominees so that somebody who's 48 or 50 might serve for many decades. So you might prefer that person over somebody who's 65 or 70, might otherwise be more meritorious. In addition, I think it's problematic to have somebody in a position of great power for that enormous length of time.
Do you see a lot of political support for that?
I don't think right now there is enough support to pass a constitutional amendment. On the other hand, I think support is growing. And I do think as life expectancy continues to increase, and we really do start to face the prospect of, wow, somebody could be on the court for 50, 60, 70 years.
So what are the changes you're going to see from Biden-Harris administration that you would like to see?
Sure. So I'm not a big fan of Biden or the Democratic Party generally, but I voted for him in part because of some of the following things that I expect. One is that I expect that he will carry out his promised agenda of reversing all or nearly all of Trump's changes to immigration policy, the various travel bans, attempts to make it harder for legal immigrants to get in, to get permanent residency and the like. And in some areas, he actually plans to go beyond the pre-Trump status quo, like he plans to increase the refugee quota to 125,000 a year, which is actually not only 6 times higher or 7 times higher than what we have under Trump, but it's higher than what existed in the last part of the Obama administration. And he has some other proposals for further liberalization as well. I also expect that Biden will be better than Trump in the area of international trade. I also hope and expect he will develop better relations with our allies generally. Trump has managed to alienate almost all of America's key allies. And finally, I hope that federal spending might be more limited under Biden.
So where can people find Free to Move, Foot Voting, Migration and Political Freedom, and all of your other books?
So they can find them on fine Amazon outlets near you. It's also available on other websites such as Barnes & Noble. You can also buy it at the Oxford University Press website. I should also mention I have also pledged that 50% of all royalties from this book will go to causes benefiting refugees.
What is your American dream?
I mean, in a sense, I'm already living it. I have a great job that I love in academia. I have a great family, and very little of that is due to my own merit. Most of it is due to the difference between living in the United States and living in Russia, where I was born. Had I still been in Russia, most likely I would still be in poverty. And probably still be in a state of political oppression as well. So I think that what I draw from that experience is that often what you can make of yourself, it's obviously partly dependent on your own abilities and what you do, but it's as much or more dependent on whether there are barriers to opportunity. And if we break down those barriers for more people can live out more of their dreams. And in the process, they can benefit others as well as themselves. People are more productive and happier. They can make innovations. They can do a lot. one of my recent publications, I noted the example of the COVID vaccines. All the companies involved in the first 2 vaccines that are likely to get approved in the US, they were founded by immigrants from poor and in many cases oppressive nations, actually.
Well, thank you very much for coming on, Ilya Somin, professor, blogger, and author of his newest book, Free to Move, Foot Voting, Migration, and Political Freedom. I really appreciate your time. And again, thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. You ready, Yo-Yo? Are you ready, Vanessa? We did it yesterday. 2 days in a row.
We did it.
With the help of Vanessa and Boss Lady. Vanessa is Boss Lady. With the help of Yo-Yo and Boss Lady, I'm going to answer 9 questions in 50 seconds and see if we can do it.
All right.
Ready, go.
Ready? Okay. Does the H-1B ban apply to December 2020 entry?
No.
Do I send a copy of my non-US passport with the I-130?
Pass.
Dad got naturalized before I turned 18. Do I need to file citizenship?
You need to file an N-600.
Can undocumented persons deposit their stimulus check?
Yes.
Is Nigeria included in the lottery program now?
No.
Can my biological daughter adopt me for immigration purposes?
No.
Can a client be represented by 2 attorneys in the asylum court?
No.
I received a visa without a yellow pocket. Is this okay?
Yeah, pass. I don't know what that means.
Pending provisional waiver, can I file the document to travel?
Pending provisional waiver, what?
Can I file the document to travel?
Disaster!
It broke up.
Disaster.
It broke up. That wasn't fair.
The first pass, I didn't. By the way, the first pass, I didn't hear the question.
Oh, I thought that maybe the answer was too long. The
No,
first pass.
The first pass, I didn't even hear the question. What was the question? You broke up on the first one.
Who, me?
No, Vanessa.
Oh.
Can I send a copy of my non-US passport with the I-130? I think it was that one.
Yes, you can, of course. Okay, that's a simple one. And what was the next one?
Pending
yellow packet. Yeah, I don't know what yellow packet you're talking about. Next one.
Yellow pocket. It was, I received a visa without a yellow pocket. Is this okay?
I don't know what a yellow pocket is. Okay, but maybe somebody in the squad can interpret for me. And what else?
Okay, pending provisional waiver, can I file the document to travel?
No, because if you have a provisional waiver, that means you're waiting. You have a 10-year bar, so if you leave, you can't come back. That's it?
Yep.
Yeah, I was trying to see if maybe someone knew what this yellow pocket was in the comments, but
damn.
We've been doing good though.
So much time to spare yesterday.
I'm so angry. I'm gonna drink some cold tea.
I was ready to go into the extras.
I know my tea got cold too.
Ow.
I have a ginger tea.
I had peppermint cold. What did you have today, Vanessa, for tea?
I don't like it.
Have tea.
How do you not have tea for tea time?
I know. I forgot it was Tuesday, to be honest.
All right, comments of the day. Comments of the day.
All right, our first comment of the day comes from Paul Green saying peppermint tea is the #1 tea in Jamaica. Yardman ting.
Very good. Didn't know that one. Okay.
Didn't know that either. No wonder I like it.
Didn't know that. Good information. Vanessa, what do you got?
Fashion from 29 Super C, Michelle Obama. Oh, wow. What an outfit. I agree. 29 Super C. I agree.
I agree too. Yes. All right, our third comment of the day comes from Don Harriet, and this is the truth. The show is the show fan comedians are Jessica Leamy, Lisa Bling Rose, Sasha Ford, and Star Girl Mika.
Those are the show comedians.
The show fan comedians. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, they keep the comments real interesting, actually.
They do.
They keep it real interesting. Okay, next one from another loyal. Brad Squad member Elizabeth Francis. Uncle Brad is the real deal when it comes to all immigration issues. He's precise, on point, and very informative.
Well, thank you very much, Elizabeth. I appreciate it.
Nicely put.
Yes.
Nicely put. All right. And our last comment of the day, everyone, comes from Harrison Matei saying, "This show is awesome. God bless your generosity."
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, tomorrow's hump day, guys. You don't need any tea for tomorrow, Vanessa. Just be ready for a hump day.
Always ready.
All right, we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?